Chalo. Back after a break. Okay. Now, moving ahead, your second chapter of the subject is what? Sentence. Is it only sentence? So it is sentence. The second topic is sentence types, and after sentence type, then in the bracket what do you have? In the bracket you have active and passive, and then direct and indirect speech. So sentence type, active and passive, direct and indirect. Now this is a grammar topic. All right. एंड ग्रामर टॉपिक में बहुत बार ऐसे होता है कि वी ऑलवेज वॉन्ट अ रिविजन और वी ऑलवेज वॉन्ट, और जनरली वेन एवर आई आस्क चिल्ड्रन दैट वेदर यू हैव अ डाउट इन अ पर्टिकुलर subject or a particular topic, most of the time the answer that I get is that yes ma'am, we have doubt in the grammar topic. And why do children have doubt in grammar topic? The reason is very clear. They have doubt in grammar topic because either they are not very clear with the rules, or they are not very clear with the concept, or even if they are clear with the rule and concept, they tend to forget it because they don't practice it. So again, coming back to the same thing that I repeated earlier also, the only way to score good or the only way to score the best in the subject is you'll have to practice. So before we practice, we need to understand what is a sentence type, what do you understand by active voice, passive voice, direct speech and indirect speech. So the foundation of a sentence is, what is the foundation of a sentence, or what is a sentence? How do you define a sentence? A group of words. All right. So is only a group of words sufficient as a definition of a sentence? No. Correct. So it has to be a group of words which makes complete sense. If it doesn't make complete sense, what do you call it? You call it as jumbled words. So group of words which make complete sense is a sentence. Now, why are we learning sentence here? Because the way I told you in the last lecture that when you talk about communication, there will be written communication and oral communication. So whether you communicate in written communication or whether you communicate in oral communication, you will be framing sentences. So in oral communication, you will be framing a sentence and speaking it, and in written communication, you will be framing a sentence and writing it, right? So that is the reason why we are learning sentences. Out of all the grammar topics that you have, we are focusing on sentence, because that is what is the base or the foundation of your communication. You simply cannot say yes or no in communication. You simply cannot nod your head whenever your boss is asking you something, or you simply cannot say no when your boss is asking you something. You'll have to talk, you'll have to explain, you'll have to speak, you'll have to express, and for that you need sentences. That's the reason why in the out of all the grammar topics that you have done so far, we are focusing more on sentence and also the types of sentence, right? So a sentence is a group of word which makes complete sense. If you have only a group of word which does not make any sense, we call it as jumbled words and we don't call it as a sentence. Now we know that a sentence has a particular format or a particular pattern, or we can say that a sentence has parts. So we all know that a sentence can be divided into a subject and a predicate. For example, if I say the hunter killed the lion, in this particular sentence, what will be your subject? Your subject will be the hunter, right? And what will be your predicate? Your predicate will be the killed the lion. Now how do you pick out the subject and the predicate? So ideally speaking, हम जिसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, that becomes your subject, and what information are you providing about your subject or what are you telling about your subject becomes your predicate. One more way of identifying the predicate is your predicate starts from the verb onwards. So the verb over here is killed. So verb onwards जो भी part है, that becomes your predicate, and जिसके बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं, that becomes your subject. All right. So the definition of a sentence is clear, and then there is something more to it, as in the higher standards. See, now we are in first standard because we are revising from the basic. So we are revising sentence जिसका definition आप first standard में सीखते हो, where your teacher gives you jumbled words and then she gives you a sentence and then she tells you to identify कि इसमें से sentence कौन सा है. So she tells you to read the sentence and she tells you to ensure which of them is making sense. The one that makes sense becomes your sentence, the ones that does not make sense becomes your jumbled words. Also at the same time, when she teaches you subject and predicate, she maybe gives you 10 examples and she tells you to pick out the subject and the predicate, right? And then maybe when you go to the third or the fourth standard, you learn that your predicate can be divided into two more parts. So which are these two parts? They are the verb and the object. Your subject remains the same, but predicate में से when you pick out the verb, the remaining part becomes your object, and that is when you learn the subject plus verb plus object pattern, S plus V plus O, जो हम normally बोलते हैं, right? So this is about sentence and the parts of a sentence, that is the subject predicate and a subject verb and object. Now when you talk about the types of sentence, why do you think sentence के types बनाने की नौबत आई? टाइप्स बनाने के पीछे कुछ तो लॉजिक होता है, कुछ तो रीज़न होता है. सो वेन एवर यू लर्न अबाउट टाइप्स ऑफ समथिंग, देयर इज सम रीज़न, सम लॉजिक और सम थिंग बिहाइंड इट. सो व्हाई डू यू थिंक वी हैव डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ सेंटेंसेस, और व्हाट डू यू थिंक डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ सेंटेंसेस आर? उनका जो क्लासिफिकेशन होता है या उनको, सी यू लर्न इन बायोलॉजी ऑल्सो. सो वेन वी हैव द क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ रेप्टाइल्स और मैमल्स और एम्फीबियंस, they are classified on certain bases. Mammals have the pinna or the ears and they give birth to young ones and not eggs. So that is how we classify mammals and animals and birds and reptiles and amphibians. So यहाँ पे when you talk about types of sentences, how do you think we classify them? How do you think we, on what basis do we decide कि ये type है और ये type नहीं है? How do we do that? See, there are basically two. One is types of sentence and the second is kinds of sentences. ठीक है, एक होता है types और दूसरा होता है kind of sentences. So type of sentences are decided on the basis of the work done. This is decided on the basis of the work done by that particular sentence, and kinds of sentences are decided on the basis of the structure or formation. For example, when you talk about simple, compound or complex, simple, compound, complex sentences don't do any type of work, but then they are classified into simple, compound and complex on the basis of their structure. One main clause, simple sentence. Two main clauses and a coordinator, compound sentence. One main clause, one dependent clause, a complex sentence. So it is decided on the basis of the structure or the formation of that particular sentence. All right. When you talk about types of sentences, the way I told you, it depends on the work that they do. Now what work can a sentence do? A sentence can tell you something. One. A sentence can ask you something. Two. A sentence can exclaim something. And a sentence can also order, or maybe command, or maybe request. So either a sentence can tell you something, or it can order, command or request something, or it can ask you something, or it can exclaim something. So on the basis of what a particular sentence is doing, we decide or we come to a conclusion that ये sentence का type ये है. अगर ये sentence मुझसे कुछ पूछ रहा है तो it's a question. अगर ये मुझे कुछ बता रहा है तो it's a sentence. अगर ये मुझे order कर रहा है तो it is imperative. And if it is expressing a strong feeling or a desire or a wish, it is exclamatory. So the type of sentence depends on the work done by that particular sentence. All right. Kinds we don't have in your syllabus or your curriculum, but then I also told you what is kind of sentences. Kind of sentences are decided on the basis of the structure or the formation of a sentence. So why are we not learning kind of sentence? Because यहाँ पे आप क्या kind use करते हो वो important नहीं है. आपका काम होना चाहिए. तो आपका काम कब होगा? जब आप राइट टाइम पे राइट सेंटेंस पूछते हो. See, when you are writing a mail to your boss, you cannot ask him something in a rude manner, or you cannot order him. You can, whatever, even if you want to ask him something, you have to reframe it in such a way that it doesn't sound like a command or a order or a question. So then you make it as a request. Kindly let me know the status of the approval of my leave. You are not going to ask him, what is the status of the approval of my leave? Huh? Can you ask him a question like that? You cannot. What you will have to do is, you will have to reframe it and make it sound very subtle कि आपका काम भी हो जाए and your boss is also not offended. So that is the reason why we are learning the different types of sentences, so that you understand where you need to ask a question, where you need to reframe a question in such a way that it doesn't sound like a question but you also get the answer to it. So when you say kindly let me know the status of the approval of my leave, you will definitely get the answer whether your leave is approved or it is not approved. आपने सवाल पूछा भी नहीं लेकिन आपको जवाब मिल गया. If you are writing a letter to your subordinate, you will ask him a direct question. Will you please explain why did you take a leave without informing the office for 3 days at a stretch? So you are not going to manipulate. Kindly let me know the reason. You are not going to make it a request. You are going to tell him that what is the reason behind your absenteeism without information. A question mark. It's going to be very bold, very straight and very clear because वो आपका subordinate है and वो शायद probation period पे है या शायद वो हमेशा ही बिना बताए छुट्टी लेता है, तो आप वहाँ पे उतना direct और उतना straight हो सकते हो. So that's the reason why we are learning the types of sentences, because types of sentences help us to understand where you need to ask a question, where you need to write a request or a order or a command or a simple statement. That is what you are going to use in your letters. It does not make a difference whether you are using a simple sentence or a compound sentence or a complex sentence. उसका भी use है, बाद में है, as in when you are writing a report and if you need to make your report short and crisp, or when you are writing a summary, it is advisable that rather than using 4 simple sentences, you use one complex sentence where you contract your sentence into small phrases or maybe small dependent clauses and put them together in one single sentence. So that also we learn, but maybe later on, right? So types of sentences are classified on the basis of the work that they do. Now the way I told you, types of sentences are decided on the basis of whether they ask something or they tell something or they order something or they express themselves, right? So the 4 types of sentences that we have, the first one what we have is a assertive sentence. We call it as a assertive sentence. Now what do you understand by the word assert? See, assert means to tell something, to assert something. Now whatever you are asserting may be right, may be wrong, मे बी पॉजिटिव मे बी नेगेटिव, बट आप वो असर्ट कर रहे हो क्योंकि आपके नॉलेज में वो चीज़ सही है. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई से टुडे इज 13th of October, मेरे नॉलेज में आज 13th है, सो आई एम असर्टिंग दैट. नाउ यू मे करेक्ट मी दैट मैम इट्स नॉट 13th, इट्स 14th of October टुडे. सो यू आर करेक्टिंग मी बट आई एम असर्टिंग बिकॉज मेरे हिसाब से आज 13th है. सो आई से टुडे इज 13th of October. सो आई एम असर्टिंग समथिंग. असर्टिंग समथिंग इज एज सिंपल एज टेलिंग समथिंग या stating something, या फिर it can be declaring something. So when you state or when you tell or when you assert or when you declare, we call it as a assertive sentence. So for example, if I make a statement, so what is making a statement? If I say I am a teacher, I am stating something, I am making a statement. If I tell you that today is Thursday, I am telling you something, right? Or if I say that I agree with you, I am asserting or I am agreeing to whatever you are saying. Or if I declare tomorrow is a holiday, Dashera, I am declaring. So statement or telling something or asserting something or declaring something falls under the category of a assertive sentence. Most of the time we end up using assertive sentences when we are talking. आपके letters में भी most of the time you will make use of assertive sentences. Either you will state something or you will tell something or you will declare something or you will assert something or maybe you'll inform something. Now what are the things that are associated with an assertive sentence? One is whenever you write an assertive sentence, what do? You always start with a capital. Assertive sentences, they start with a capital and they end with a full stop, right? They start with a capital and end with a full stop because they tell you something. So if they tell you something, they will always end with a full stop, and they start with a capital because that is how you start a sentence. Fine. Now when you talk about assertive sentences can be divided into two. So what are the two types of assertive sentence? The first one is affirmative and the second one is negative. Affirmative sentences are also known as positive sentences. Alright. Now please keep one thing in mind. A positive sentence may not be positive. A positive sentence may have a negative intent. But then why do you call it as a positive sentence? Because it does not contain a negative word. So as simple as that. This has got nothing to do with a positive sentences will motivate you. It will tell you to be positive. It will encourage you. नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. So if somebody comes and tells you that, you know, this person is a donkey. He is the biggest idiot on earth that I've ever come across. You'll say, what a positive sentence. No, it's not positive. The intent is negative. Grammatically, the sentence is positive. Because you have not used a negative word. Negative words are no, not, never, neither, nor. All these are negative words. So whether a sentence is positive or negative has got nothing to do with its meaning. It has got nothing to do with the intention. The only thing that you need to keep in mind here is a sentence that does not contains negative words like no, not, never, neither, nor are called as positive sentences. The intent or the meaning or the whatever you are trying to convey could be very negative. But then just because it does not contain a negative word, you can call it as a positive sentence. So if I say that this particular thing is unavailable, so that's something negative. But then what word did I use? Unavailable. I did not say not available. So if sometimes you know that not word sounds a little negative. Sir, it's unavailable right now. I'll get it in a day or two for you. So you are trying to be a little positive and polite and encouraging rather than saying that we don't have this. So rather than saying we don't have this, if you say this is unavailable right now, but I'll arrange it for you in a day or two. That sounds a little good. That sounds a little positive, right? So affirmative or positive sentences are sentences that don't contain a negative word. Sentences that do not contain negative words like no, not, never, neither, नहीं वो नहीं आएगा. No, not, never, neither. ठीक है. And इसका second type is what? The second type is nothing else but a negative sentence. So what's a negative sentence? A negative sentence could be positive in meaning, as in if I tell you don't give up. So when I say don't give up, the meaning, the intention is very positive, but then the word that I've used is negative, the sentence will be called as a negative sentence. So negative sentences are sentences that contain negative words. So negative words I already discussed. A sentence which will contain negative words like no, not, never, neither, nor, nothing are called as negative sentences. So assertive sentence, meaning, definition, types of assertive sentences is clear. So this, the way I told you, depends on what work they do. And assertive sentences are important because major sentences that we use in letter writing or any kind of writing skill or any kind of answer for that matter also are assertive sentences. So you state or you declare or you inform whatever you know in that particular letter or in a particular answer. Okay. The second type that we have is interrogative sentence. Now if you must have heard the word that आपको पुलिस स्टेशन चलना पड़ेगा, आपका interrogation है. We are taking this person to the police station because we have to interrogate him. So what is the police going to do when they say that we are going to interrogate you? We are going to ask you questions. कत्ल की रात आप कहाँ थे? आपके साथ कौन था? आप कितने बजे घर वापस लौटे. So they are going to ask you a lot of questions. So the police calls it as interrogation. ठीक है. So interrogation basically is what? Interrogation is all about asking questions. So sentences that ask question are called as interrogative sentences. Now whenever you ask a question, again interrogative sentences are of two types. I'll explain what are they and then I'll write it down. So the first interrogative sentence is something that starts with a WH question. So WH questions are what, when, where, why, how also is a WH question. So in a WH question you need to answer in full. You need to answer or you need to reply in a complete sentence. For example, if I ask you what are you doing, you will have to say I am revising, or you say that I am watching TV, or you say I am not doing anything right now, but I'll maybe go and have my lunch. So you are replying in a complete statement. Alright. The second type of questions are called as yes or no questions. We call them yes or no questions because they can simply be answered either in yes or in no. For example, if I ask you, is your father a government employee? So if he is a government employee, you will say yes or you will say no. Yes or no questions are also called as close-ended questions. So close-ended questions, why? Because you can simply say yes. Now if you don't want to tell me that he is in which department, or you know what exactly does he do as a government servant or a government worker, you will simply say yes ma'am, or you will simply say no ma'am, because you don't want me to know what he does. So it's a close-ended question. So if I ask you versus this, if I ask you what does your father do, you'll have to tell me that ma'am he is a government officer, or ma'am he runs his own business. But if I ask you is he a government officer, you can either say yes or you can say no. Now close-ended questions have to be avoided. If you are trying to extract information from the other person, avoid close-ended questions, because if you ask a close-ended question, the other person will answer in yes or he will answer in no. But then one advantage of a close-ended question is, if you want to strike a conversation, you can start with a close-ended question, and then gradually when the person starts opening his mouth and starts interacting, you can move over to the WH questions. As in if you have heard people talking to a sales person, देखो इसके फायदे भी होते हैं नुकसान भी होते हैं. कुछ लोग नहीं बोल के आगे निकल जाते हैं, या कुछ लोग आगे कन्वर्सेशन कंटिन्यू करते हैं. So if a salesman comes to you and he says, sir, excuse me sir, do you use a credit card? You'll say no. Sir, our bank is offering a very nice credit card. Want to take a look at it? It has got some nice lovely features and advantages. बहुत सारे benefits है sir. आपके पास 2 मिनट टाइम है तो explain कर दूँ. So that is how they try to initiate the conversation. Sales people, they will ask you first, or they'll ask you, sir आप जॉब करते कि सैलरी आपका बिजनेस है? मैं जॉब करता हूँ. सर क्रेडिट कार्ड है? नहीं. सर हमारा कंपनी अच्छा क्रेडिट कार्ड दे रहा है. And then they continue. But sometimes you know some people like जॉब करते कि सैलरी बिजनेस करते हैं, नहीं बताने का, and they move away. So that is a disadvantage, but you know that's the only way in which you can start a conversation with a stranger, by asking him close-ended questions and then further taking it to a open-ended question. But if you want to extract information, it is ideal that you ask WH questions. So interrogative sentences are what? Sentences that ask a question. Sentences that will ask you a question are called as interrogative sentences. ठीक है. Now sentences that ask you a question, तो ठीक है. What do you think that they start with? They start with a question word, ना? They start with a question word or a helping verb. So जो helping verb से start होता है, that becomes a yes or no question and end with a question mark. All right. So all the yes or no questions start with a helping verb. As in, did you have your breakfast? Is he your brother? Were you out last night? Did you play cricket? Or did you watch this movie? Or another examples are you interested in joining me for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea? So here you are using the word are or is or was or were. So all these answers you end up answering either in yes or no, and they are called as yes or no questions. So either your questions start with a WH word or they start with a helping verb and they end with a question mark. So again what we'll do is we'll end up writing both the types. So the first type is WH questions and the second is yes or no questions. So WH questions are what? Questions that start with a WH word. Questions that start with a WH word and have to be answered in full. WH word and answered in full. Now I'll just put a few WH words in the bracket. Do you need it? You all know what WH words are, right? And the second is yes or no questions. So yes or no questions are also called as close-ended questions. Questions that start with a helping verb. Questions that start with a helping verb and can be answered in yes or no. Alright, and can be answered in yes or no are called as yes or no questions. You can also call them as close-ended questions. ठीक है? They are also known as close-ended questions because the other person can simply answer in yes or no and get away with it. So you can also call them as close-ended questions. So this is about interrogative sentences, the definition and the types. Now again, why is it important? The way I told you. If you, yes. So rhetorical questions are a little different. Rhetorical questions are also called as yes or no questions. But then rhetorical questions में होता ये है कि answer is not expected from the other person. So if the answer is not expected from the other person, then why are you asking the question in the very first place? You are asking the question in the very first place because you want the other person to be on the same page with you. You want the other person to think and reflect. You know कि सामने वाले को इसका जवाब पता है. And you also know what the tentative answer is going to be. But still you are asking a question just to bring a variation in whatever you are writing because you have been writing a lot of assertive sentences. Now you want to bring a variation. So you throw in a rhetorical question. And you want the other person to think and reflect. You want the other person to be on the same page with you. So that question is also called as a yes or no question. But then वो close ended नहीं होता है because वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा इंसान का thought process चालू हो जाता है. Like I'll give you a simple example. When you write a sales letter and let us say you are writing a sales letter for insurance. If you are trying to sell somebody insurance. तो देखो जब हम सेल कोई भी चीज़ को बेचते हैं ना तो दो तीन तरीके होते हैं. एक है फियर बेस्ड, आप लोगों को डरा के कोई तो चीज़ बेचते हो, या फिर नीड, आप बताते हो कि आपको इस चीज़ की सख्त ज़रूरत है, या फिर यू शो द स्टेटस, द लग्जरी अटैच्ड टू दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट एंड देन यू सेल इट. ठीक है. सो व्हेन यू आर ट्राइंग टू सेल अ इंश्योरेंस, इट इज़ ऑफकोर्स कि आप सामने वाले को डरा के वो चीज़ बेच रहे हो. सो यू नो देयर यू आस्क अ रेटोरिकल क्वेश्चन. Do you know what will happen to your family after you are no more? Now the person will start thinking. Or are you aware of the medical expenses in a good hospital for a day? So you'll be like, no. Or you'll be like, yes, I know. Do you have ample of money in your bank account to meet those expenses? You'll be like, nahi. So there you know you are creating that fear. And you don't want the other person to answer you. बट यू वॉन्ट द अदर पर्सन टू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि अरे मैंने कभी सोचा ही नहीं कि हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन का एक दिन का कॉस्टिंग कितना होता है और मेरे अकाउंट में उतने पैसे हैं या नहीं है. सो देयर यू आर आस्किंग द रिटोरिकल क्वेश्चन सो दैट द अदर पर्सन गेट्स एंगेज्ड, द अदर पर्सन इज ऑन द सेम पेज विथ यू, और द अदर पर्सन यू आर ग्रेजुअली पुशिंग हिम इन दैट डायरेक्शन so that your work becomes easy. So that is the meaning of rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions are also yes or no questions only. Because वो दिमाग में तो yes या no जवाब देगा ही ना, but then gradually वो उसी डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है जहाँ पे आप उसको ले जाना चाहते हो. So do you know what are the expenses of a private medical hospital for a day? You'll be like 10,000 almost. Or yes, I know. Do you have enough money in your account? No. What is the solution? I don't know. and then you will introduce your product, that is your life insurance or mediclaim or whatever. So rhetorical questions यही category में आते हैं, ठीक है. But most of the time, you know, when we discuss grammar, we don't use rhetorical questions because rhetorical questions का angle ज़्यादा करके poem या speech में होता है. Most of the time, you know, in a poem you come across a rhetorical question, or in a speech you come across a rhetorical question, or sometimes in a lesson also. But that is so that the reader gets engaged or involved in whatever the poet has written or whatever the writer has written. But then you can use it in certain letters also, right? Just to make the other person think. Have you thought about your retirement? You'll be like, no, I'm 20 years old. What are you talking about? You have to start thinking as early as 20 because of the inflation prices. अभी से सोचोगे तो कहीं जाके रिटायरमेंट के लिए इनफ पैसा होगा. So you know, when you ask a question, have you thought, rhetorical question, have you thought about your retirement? So suddenly वो आपको 20 से लेके 60 साल तक ले गया. You are on the same page. That is the advantage of a rhetorical question. ठीक है? That's clear? Okay. This is clear. The WH question and the yes or no question. Then the next that you have is a imperative sentence. Now when you talk about an imperative sentence, what is an imperative sentence? I don't know why, but a lot of children end up getting confused in imperative sentence. And you know, they don't get confused in imperative sentence. They are like, what's the difference between an order and a command? What's the difference between a request and a plea? उतना detail में नहीं जाना है. What's the difference between a request and a plea, by the way? A request is a request. Can you get me a glass of water? That's a request. Can you please help me? This is a plea. You know, when you are like very desperate, so that becomes a plea. A request can be as normal as pass on that book please, or get me a glass of water please, or can I borrow your pen please. It's a very normal thing. But plea में क्या होता है कि एकदम, you know, it's a do or die situation, or you know, you are desperately looking out for some help, otherwise something disastrous is going to happen. So you don't have to get into that detail कि imperative sentence order है, command है, request है. तो अभी order और command में फ़र्क क्या है? कमांड आर्मी ऑफिसर देता है, ऑर्डर पप्पा देते हैं. फ़र्क क्या है यार? दोनों का सुनना पड़ता है. दोनों उतने ही खड़ूस है. देयर इज़ नो डिफरेंस. यू डोंट हैव अ चॉइस. यू हैव टू लिसन टू अ कमांडर ऑल्सो इफ यू आर इन द आर्मी, and at home you have to listen to your father also. So don't get into all that, the difference between a command or a order or a request or a plea. I'll tell you what you need to get into, that I'll tell you. So when you talk about an imperative sentence, it is either a order or a command or a request, or it could be an advice. ठीक है, ये सारी चीज़ें आ जाती है आपके imperative sentence में. Now there are two things that you need to keep in mind. Everywhere we saw two types. यहाँ पे two types नहीं है. I can say that there are two features which you will 110% find in a imperative sentence. The first one is your imperative sentences are always in present tense. Okay, you will never come across an imperative sentence in past tense. I have repeated this in the, I've said this in the past, I'll repeat it again today. बर्बाद से बर्बाद इंग्लिश वाला आदमी या जिसको ग्रामर का थोड़ा सा भी समझ नहीं होता है, वो भी imperative सेंटेंस को सही बोलता है. ठीक है, सो द वे वी से ना कि एक बंद घड़ी भी दिन में 2 बार तो सही समय दिखाई देती है, वैसे एक बर्बाद इंग्लिश या इंग्लिश ग्रामर का नॉलेज वाला आदमी imperative सेंटेंस तो सही बोल ही देता है. दैट्स द लॉजिक ओवर हियर. सो यू विल नेवर हियर somebody saying got out of the class. It's always get out of the class. The sentence is a order and it is in present tense, right? Closed the doors of the windows. अभी इसमें doors of the windows गलत हो सकता है, लेकिन closed इंसान नहीं बोलेगा. He will say close the window or open the door or take down the notes. Nobody will say took down the notes. Took down all the notes that I've written on the board. Took down. You took down? You didn't took down. I took down. You took down? Yes, you took down. So it's never took down. It's always take down. It is always close the door. It is always open the window. It is always get me a glass of water. It is always get out of the class. It is always be careful while crossing the road. It is always work hard. It is always study sincerely. It is always sleep well. It is always eat properly. So when you talk about order or a command or a request or a advice, it is always going to be in present tense. And the second thing is they do not have a subject. Imperative sentences do not have a subject, but then the subject is understood. The subject is understood in the sense it is understood to be you. So when I say get me a glass of water, it is understood you get me a glass of water. When I say get out, it is you get out. So किसी किसी को जब बोलते हैं ना get out of the class, they'll say मैं नहीं, तू क्यों, मैं ना फ्रस्ट्रेशन में टीचर बोलता है अरे तू नहीं भाई, तू रुक, मैं जाता हूँ. So it is understood that when the teacher says get out of the class, it is you get out of the class. And you know people take advantage of this. Class bench के बच्चे को भी बोला ना get out of the class, वो पीछे देखेगा, कौन, मैं, अरे हाँ तू, तेरे पीछे कोई नहीं है, you are, I am talking to you only. या फिर एक भी लड़का होगा ना क्लास में, से गेट आउट ऑफ द क्लास, यू आर टॉकिंग टू मी, अरे येस इट इज यू. सो यहाँ पे इट इज अंडरस्टूड दैट इट इज यू. सो दो वी आर नॉट पिन पॉइंटिंग और वी डोंट यूज अ प्रॉपर नेम हियर, इट इज अंडरस्टूड टू बी यू. व्हेन यू से get me a glass of water, or when you say open the door, or when you say close the window, or when you say sleep well, so it's understood you sleep well, study hard, you study hard, eat well, you eat well, play well, you play well, it's understood. ठीक है. So they don't have a subject, they are always in present tense. Now when do you use an imperative sentence in a letter? When you really want to push someone, order now, so it's understood you order now, right? So if you really want to push someone, ये order नहीं हुआ है, मतलब order now is not a order, you're getting me? So order now is basically you are trying to request that person, or not request also, you are trying to push that person but in an indirect way. इसमें एडवांटेज ये होता है कि इनडायरेक्ट वे क्यों है, बिकॉज आप स्पेसिफिकली किसी को पॉइंट आउट करके नहीं बोल रहे हो. सो इट्स अ जनरल थिंग, ऑर्डर नाउ. तो ये जनरल या कॉमन स्टेटमेंट हो गया. यू कैन कॉपी, यू कैन सी दैट लेटर टू अ लॉट ऑफ अदर पीपल, बिकॉज आपने ऊपर भी एक स्पेसिफिक कस्टमर का नाम नहीं लिखा है, नीचे भी आप ऐसे नहीं लिख रहे हो कि मिस्टर सो एंड सो ऑर्डर नाउ. इट्स सिंपली ऑर्डर नाउ, और इट्स सिंपली बुक योर सीट्स नाउ. So when you say book your seats now, it becomes a general statement for everyone who's reading that advertisement. ठीक है. So that's the advantage. आप इसको एक subtle way में सबके लिए यूज़ कर सकते हो. और किसी ने बोला, मुझे बोला तूने, नहीं मैं तो ऐसे ही जनरल बोल रहा था सर, book your seats now, आपको क्यों बोलूँगा सर, मेरी औकात. You can very well get away with it. That's the advantage of this. ठीक है. So imperative sentences is clear, order, command, request, advise, etc. always in present tense, do not have a subject. Then the last one that you have is a exclamatory sentence. Now what do you understand by exclamatory sentence? Exclamatory sentence exclaims. So here what you do is you express your feelings, you express or exclaim whatever you feel, a strong feeling or a strong emotion, or when you want to express or exclaim something very strongly, you use a exclamatory sentence. Express or exclaim a strong feeling or emotion. Now why do you do this? See, again you will exclaim or express your strong feelings or emotions while writing letter if you are very happy or very sad or upset or depressed with the way you are treated. Let us say you are a customer and you are disappointed with a product that you received from a particular company. You ordered something online, you got it in a very damaged state, and you have been chasing up the customer care executive, but he is not replacing it, neither refunding your money, and you escalate the matter then to the senior, and there your frustration will come out in the form of a exclamatory sentence. What kind of a brand you are! Exclamation mark. How can you be so insensitive towards a customer who has been chasing you for the last 2 months? Exclamatory mark. So आप बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हो यहाँ पे. इसका एडवांटेज क्या होता है, आप गालियाँ नहीं दे रहे हो, लेकिन आपने बता दिया कि आप कितना ज़्यादा फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हो. So this is a nice and a subtle way of expressing what you feel, how frustrated, how irritated, or how happy or how sad you are. So you definitely see, that is what I told you. The right words at the right place in the right manner will help you to get the result. And see, that can be done by using the right kind of a sentence. So if you are really upset, you don't have to abuse that person, or if you are really angry, you don't have to give bad words. You can simply question them, or you can simply write by writing this, how can you be so insensitive! Exclamatory mark. फिर अगला बंदा बोलेगा, sir, we are not insensitive, we tried contacting you 3 times in the last 3 days, you did not pick up the call, how can we help you if you don't pick up the call? So it can be like that. ठीक है. तो how insensitive you are! Exclamatory mark. shows how frustrated you are or how hurt you are or how upset you are with the kind of treatment that you have received. Or let us say you are writing a letter to your client and you are very happy doing business with him. So you write that what a pleasure it has been to work with you all these days and exclamation mark. तो आपको एकदम फ्लावरी लैंग्वेज यूज़ करके बहुत सारा उसका गुणगान करके तारीफ करके बहुत सारे एडजेक्टिव्स लिखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. You simply write that what a pleasure it has been or what a fantastic journey it has been with you all these years and you put an exclamation mark, so that says it all. So यहाँ पे हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हमको जो बताना है वो तो बताना है, but we also need to make sure that we cut down on the time. You cannot keep on praising that person in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines, but you also have to praise him. So you this one exclamatory line is more than enough. That sums up all your feelings with the help of that one exclamation mark and that one what, how and one adjective, suitable adjective. So if you are hurt, you write how insensitive. If you are happy, you write what a pleasure. Or if you are overjoyed, you write how happy I am, or I cannot tell you how pleasurable this is. Whatever, the right adjective with a what or a how in the beginning and a exclamatory mark at the end. Now exclamatory, I told you, you express or exclaim a strong feeling or emotion. Now when you talk about expressing a strong feeling or emotion, your feeling or emotion, the way I told you, could be positive, could be negative, could be happiness, could be sadness, could be surprise, could be anger, could be disgust, it could be anything depending on आप क्या लेटर लिख रहे हो, किसको लिख रहे हो और आप क्या कन्वे करना चाह रहे हो. So that understanding has to be there, and the way I told you, apart from that what, how and the exclamatory mark, the adjective that you use will help the other person to understand your feelings, right? But then what is important here is the word what and how. Now again you can write this in two ways. One is using exclamatory words. One more thing that I want to add here is they start with an exclamatory word. They start with an exclamatory word or what or how and end with an exclamatory mark. ठीक है? This is what you need to keep in mind. So they either start with an exclamatory word or the word what or how and they end with an exclamatory mark. ठीक है? Now you use the exclamatory words in lower standards, if you remember. So you know, alas and then exclamation mark, she is dead, or hooray exclamatory mark and we won the match, or bravo exclamatory mark and well done. So now you are not going to use all of these words. Now what we use more is the word what or the word how. अब कुछ बच्चे पूछते हैं मैम what कभी यूज़ करने का, how कभी यूज़ करने का. Does not make a lot of difference. You can use what, you can use how, but then the sentence construction you need to keep in mind, as in how insensitive you are. लेकिन जब आप लिखते हो what, you cannot write what insensitive you are. You'll have to write what an insensitive person you are. So the sentence construction changes the minute you exchange what with how. हाँ, इससे कुछ फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है कि what यूज़ करोगे तो ज़्यादा फीलिंग एक्सप्रेस होगा, how यूज़ करोगे तो 90% ही एक्सप्रेस होगा, नहीं. But then you need to be careful with the sentence construction. What a beautiful flower the rose is. How beautiful the rose is. So you cannot write how beautiful flower the rose is. So just keep in mind the construction. What use करो, how use करो, कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है. How insensitive you are, what an insensitive person you are, it conveys one and the same thing. What a pleasure it is working with you, how pleasurable it is working with you. You have to keep in mind the construction of the sentence. Whether you use what or you use how does not make any difference. Okay? So again here the way I said, we have two types. The one is where you use exclamatory words. So you know, words like alas, hooray, bravo, according to the feeling, etc. According to the feeling or according to the emotion. So don't write hooray, she is dead, or don't write bravo, you lost the match. So you have to write it according to the feeling or emotion. So this we don't use anymore, but sometimes कभी कभी use कर सकते हो in a sales letter. ठीक है? So hooray, we did it. You know, we ended up starting our 20th branch, or ended up starting our, you know, a new, we launched a new product. So या फिर hooray, we did it with your support. So sales letter या advertisement वाला इसमें आप इसको use कर सकते हो. या hooray, the annual sale is back. Something that you wait for the whole year. वहाँ पे you can use it. But फिर भी you have to be very careful with this. The second one is what or how. So words like what or how. Words like how or what are used with a suitable adjective. So यहाँ पे I told you the adjective does the whole thing. The adjective tells you whether, you know, you are expressing your anger or happiness or sadness or disgust or whatever feeling. So words like how or what are used with a suitable adjective. And then one more thing that you can add is, it does not make any difference whether you use what or how. It does not make any difference whether you use what or how, but then be careful about the construction of the sentence. So not that with what use करोगे तो ज़्यादा मार्क मिलेंगे, how use करोगे तो कम मिलेंगे. But be careful with the sentence construction or the construction of the sentence. Now I'll give you a nice and wonderful exercise to understand this. So what you are going to do is, this is clear? So now what you are going to do is, just to understand the importance of the subject. Sometimes what happens, you know, we feel that this is such a silly topic यार. कहाँ हम प्रोफेशनल कर रहे हैं, कहाँ ये हमको हमारा 5th 6th का टॉपिक टाइप्स ऑफ सेंटेंसेस में उलझा के रख रहे हैं. The way I said, now you need to go one step further. So though the topic is same, but then definitely the use, or definitely, you know, the way you apply it now is going to be different from what you did in 6th standard or 7th standard. So you'll go home, pick up 4 different letters or maybe 2 different letters and underline each sentence and write the type of the sentence, whether it is interrogative, whether it is exclamatory, whether it is affirmative, whether it is negative, whether it is imperative, and then try to understand. If you come across a imperative sentence in a letter, try to understand कि ये imperative को अगर एक assertive से replace करते तो same impact आता क्या. Yeah, if you come across a question, try to understand that if I replace this question with a assertive sentence or a negative sentence or a interrogative sentence or a imperative sentence, what will happen? What will the letter look like? So that will give you your answer. Why are we learning this? See, because अभी हमको transformation नहीं आने वाला है यहाँ पे. You are not going to get transformation. It is not that you will be given a assertive sentence and asked to make it negative. And even if you are asked to do it, what is the purpose? The way I told you, sometimes instead of a negative sentence, if you put a imperative sentence, that helps to get your work done. Sometimes instead of interrogative, if you use a assertive sentence, that helps to get your work done. Sometimes replacing a sentence with a question can make the matters worse. Sometimes replacing a sentence with a question can get your work done. So for example, if you are chasing someone for your bill, pending bill, and if you keep on asking him, when are you going to make my payment, when are you going to pay me, when am I going to get my check, वो इंसान, you know, लोग सवालों से भागते हैं. When can I expect my money? He will not reply. But if you tell him that kindly make my payment by the end of this month, I need it urgently and I believe you must be in some deep trouble, that's the reason why the payment got delayed, but I know you will not delay it further. I am expecting my check to reach me by 30th of October. So here you are replacing the question with a lot of positive sentences. So maybe that will get your work done. So if you keep on asking him, कब, कहाँ, कैसे, क्यों, he'll say नहीं देता, जा. But if you are like, I know you are a good man, you have always paid me on time, we had such wonderful, you know, business deals in the past, आगे और करने दोस्त, पहले ये पेमेंट क्लियर कर. So then your work gets done. So that is what you now need to start thinking whenever you are framing a sentence. Is a question going to help or is it going to hurt him? Should I replace it with a nice positive sentence, or do I need to be a little sarcastic and put a negative word there? So that is for you to now think and decide. So that is what, the importance of this topic that we did just now. That is what the importance of this topic holds for you when it comes to writing skills, or letter writing, or report writing, or summary writing, or précis writing, or all of the other writing things that you have to do in order to report to someone. Okay? So no doubts, no difficulties with this. Can we wind this up here? All right, good. Thank you so much. Yeah.